How do you write a horror movie? Sometimes it starts with just walking into the kitchen and looking around. Here's how Evil Dead Rise conceived the greatest horror scene in recent memory. Horror films have made no secret of the fact that you're never really safe, even when you're at home. Of course, the Evil Dead movies are no exception. Most of them take place in a remote cabin in the forest, or in the case of Army of Darkness, in medieval Britain.
See this? This is my boomstick!
Yet it's only when the Deadites weaponize the common household objects around them that things get really gnarly. Be they cellar doors, windows, or a plain old pencil. At one point in the 2013 reboot of Evil Dead, someone even slices their own tongue in half using a box cutter. Obviously, this beloved franchise can make schlock out of anything.
Hail to the king, baby.
Luckily for the gorehounds of the world, the latest addition to the Evil Dead series has a scene that might just top that disgusting moment. One that came together in surprising circumstances. Hoping to live up to a franchise renowned for its splattery nastiness, writer and director Lee Cronin is giving it his all with Evil Dead Rise. Even before the movie's release, the trailer revealed one of its most distressing moments, involving the creative application of a cheese grater. And you can thank the pandemic for inspiring this particularly gross-out gag. In an interview with Far Out, Cronin recalled how the 2020 lockdowns provided inspiration for his Evil Dead Rise script, including the cheese grater scene. He explained, "I wrote the film during the first wave of COVID-19, when the entire world was locked in their homes with an evil force outside the door. We didn't know what this thing was, so I spent a lot of time just looking at the trappings of everyday life." The more he dwelled on it, Cronin said, the more he realized that he wanted to have a major fight scene take place in a kitchen. But what's a good human versus Deadite battle without some unusual weapons thrown into the mix? As Lee recalled, he had come up with the idea of someone being hit in the face with a big cooking pot in the vein of an R-rated live-action cartoon. But he also felt like he needed a more unique weapon to throw into the fray. He added, "I guess I walked into my kitchen and saw the cheese grater and thought, oh, I have not seen that enough before." Considering the bizarre and terrifying circumstances of lockdown isolation in 2020, it wasn't exactly difficult for Cronin to get into the proper mindset to write an Evil Dead movie. No doubt being stuck indoors made it all the easier for him to envision ways in which the Deadites might wreak bloody chaos down upon his film's characters, especially within the supposed safety of their home. It's probably no coincidence that Evil Dead Rise has the added twist of being the first chapter in the franchise to take place in a big city apartment either. This setting presents a whole new set of dangers, which might otherwise be absent from the cabins and the woods of movies past, or even the medieval huts and castles of Army of Darkness. However, it's never enough to simply tap into people's insecurities about how unsafe their homes might be. That's child play for a horror screenwriter. You've also got to have fun while meddling with those anxieties, striking a tone that the best Evil Dead films pull off with ease.
We can be a big, happy family again.
Cronin talked about this during his Far Out interview, explaining that he deliberately incorporated slapstick comedy to complement the more brutal elements of the cheese grater scene in Evil Dead Rise. Perhaps it's no surprise then that the movie is attracting such critical acclaim. As Slash Films Review of the movie says, Evil Dead Rise is the most Evil Dead movie, from the mind-melting body horror to the outrageous creature design to the darkly comedic spring in its step.